Hey, what it do? Welcome back to the channel. Hope I'm having a great day. So for everybody that's been around for a while, you guys are probably familiar with the 299. This thing is just an absolute workhorse around here at the ranch. We would not be able to do like half the stuff that we do if it were not for this tractor. But she's starting to get a little bit on the old side, so we're gonna be giving her some love in this video. But just on a little side note, the 299 is hands down my favorite Caterpillar machine ever made. The amount of power that is stuffed into this little guy and what it can do is just phenomenal. And I've driven pretty much almost everything that has a Cat logo on it. Backhoes, excavators, pavers, rollers, wheel loaders, dozers, graders. Like, I've been in them all, and I love this tractor. All right, so before this starts sounding like too much of a promotion for Caterpillar, we're gonna go ahead and tell you what's wrong with the 299. The hydraulic fan that's up here is leaking fluid everywhere. The seals on it went out, and you guys can see that it's kind of messy down here. But a hydraulic fan is like superior in design as opposed to a belt-driven one for a couple reasons. One, if you guys ever pay attention to one of these things when they're working, normally it sucks air through the radiator to cool off everything for the engine, blah, blah, blah. But occasionally the hydraulic fans on these will reverse, and you'll just see it blow the radiators out. So it's basically cleaning the radiators from any dust or any buildup in there. Now you do still have to wash them eventually, but it does make for a cleaner operation. And then advantage number two, you don't have to have a fan sticking off the back of the engine, which is gonna add at least 8 to 10 inches, which would add another 8 to 10 inches on the back side of this machine. And sometimes you'll see skid steers that have like just this big old booty that comes way back. And this in itself is pretty far back here because it has a bigger engine than most of the Cat skid steers. So regardless, we're gonna be working on this today. It does have a track related issue that we're gonna be fixing also. And as always, there may be some other stuff that makes us win this video, but hope you guys enjoy it. Let's go ahead and jump on into it and let's roll. I want to start keeping clean, so we're gonna go ahead and take out this bottom fitting. That's nice. So the sequencing on all this stuff is slow. So we're gonna go ahead and do a little test with this guy. We're gonna flip it upside down, make sure it doesn't fall out. It should click. Now we're gonna go ahead and give it the final torque. Move this centerpiece and actually cut it down the center right where it was. Wonder what that means. My cap just fell off. Let's see. We're 192. We're still getting close. All right, well, I guess it's time to quit yapping and get to work. It's crazy how such a small bag of parts could basically bring an entire machine down to its knees. So we're gonna go ahead and get this top cover lifted up. You got one little rubber strap right here that holds this down. And it should come up. Hoses are in the way. All right, so some of you who are actually mechanics, don't judge me, but we will be cleaning this radiator really good when we're actually done. It has been kind of dirty, kind of muddy lately, so it's got some gunk built up on it. But basically, for those of you who are not familiar with the Cat radiators, there's a bolt here, and then the whole thing actually pivots up to where I'm hoping that we can take the fan off. If you guys look at it, it is attached on the bottom side, so this will come up, and then we'll get everything disconnected. All right, so you don't get a ton of room to work with, but now that everything has been disconnected, we're gonna go ahead and lift up the radiator. And you guys are gonna see this little red latch right here. Basically, it pulls back a little bit, drops into place, and it should give us enough room to go ahead and pull that fan out now. Also, I think the next purchase for the shop is gonna be like one of those little rolling tool carts, so I don't have that problem. I'm able just to have all my tools with me, and hopefully one with like a little workbench on top. All right, well, now that I have my fancy little light, we're gonna go ahead and show you guys how dirty this thing actually is. So you guys can see that she was spewing fluid everywhere, mixing with dust. It gets dirty real fast, but this actually is not that hard to take off. It's basically got a bolt here, bolt there. I think it's got 2 more on the back side, and then the whole assembly drops down. Then you get to disconnect the fan, which I've never done this before on this tractor, so I'm not 100% sure. We're gonna kind of be learning together, but for now, I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect this line, which comes off the back of that, and we'll start getting the hydraulic fluid out of it. Also in this situation, compressed air is your friend, and I really like this one. This has like the Venturi style nozzle. I already blew most of it off, but it does a great job of just blowing off all the nasty stuff. Supposedly there's some wheelie action going on. Just came down here to grab me. Gonna run up to the track with him real quick. Really? You do a wheelie? Yeah. For reals? Yeah. Like for sure, for sure? Yeah. Okay, let's go. All right, buddy. Where are these wheelies happening?
At the the jump.
The jump over there?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see. All right, go for it. Not bad. Do it again. That was pretty good. I'm gonna get back to work though, okay?
Okay.
All right, so some of these plugs are a doozy to get off. This guy right here was tucked around on the back side of this solenoid right here. Not the easiest one in the world to get to, but if I could do it, you guys could do it too. So anyhow, we are, I think, completely disconnected. That hose is kind of a bear to get to. You guys can see that we've already dropped it from here. So in theory, we just have to disconnect these four. This grate should drop down. Then I think we'll be able to get it out. You guys, my camera is super dirty right now. Let's go ahead and get this a little bit cleaner. All right, well, not the most difficult job in the world, but the fan is out. So now it's time for like the tedious stuff that we gotta be careful with. We do not wanna break the plastic fan. It's not hard to do. We're gonna go ahead and remove this shroud right here. Probably gonna take this hose off too, just so it's not in the way, but I need to go. But I need to go clear space on the workbench real quick, so that we can keep it nice and organized. All right, so all in all, it's pretty simple. You have two hoses that come in and out. Actually, there's three. I don't know what this is for though. It might be like a case drain, but basically you have a hydraulic motor, then you have an electric solenoid, which I've already loosened up. So we'll go ahead and take this off. And this little guy right here is what is able to change the direction of the fan. Basically just allows the hydraulic fluid to go one way or the other. So now that this is off, I think we can go ahead and get that hose off. Then we're gonna go ahead and remove these bolts. There's one over here too. And then I think we'll probably take the blade off too. And then we'll start to open it up and actually get to changing the seals. Come on, come on, let go, let go. You guys want to know a fun fact about this impact wrench? My buddy Mike found it on the side of the road, and he does not have Milwaukee tools, so he let me have it, and I love it. All right, got the last bolt out. Let's go ahead and take this fan off. Oof. Oof, look at this, guys. Oh, that's pretty. That's a lot of dirt. All right, let's go ahead and get this flipped over so we can get out. Not sure what that was. Oh, that's nice. That just came off. Yeah, let's go ahead and get these two Allen bolts out real quick. All right, well, I have come to discover that they really do not want you to take these Allen bolts out without removing all of this stuff that's up top. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up real good because I'm gonna have to take this fitting off, that fitting off, because it's a 5/16 Allen head that fits in there. And as you guys can tell, it's at a pretty steep angle, and I do not want to strip that out. So we're gonna go ahead and get this cleaned off. Then I gotta take all these fittings off so we can get like a nice straight shot down there, so we can get that bolt out and that bolt out. All right, so this is the stuff that we want to start keeping clean. So we're gonna go ahead and take out this bottom fitting. You guys can see that I've already got that one off right there. We're gonna go ahead and remove this guy. So now we have a straight shot to both of these Allens, and should not be too difficult. Let's see if there's anything down here. I think that's it. So let's go ahead and take those out. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of cleaning the camera off in this video because this stuff is just covered in grease, but let's go ahead and take these out. Maybe, maybe not. Let's give this one a shot. We are on max setting. She's having a hard time. All right, there's one. Let's go ahead and give this one a shot. You're gonna have to set the camera down again. Ooh, maybe. Come on, come on. Yeah, good enough. Man, she is struggling. Come on, girl. Let's go. All right, there she is. Let's set that down. Move this out of the way. Probably pressure wash that. A little bit later. Woo, what a mess. Okay, all right. All right, well, I've made a little bit of progress since last time I picked up the camera. I keep getting distracted because I'm listening to a podcast about beef right now. But regardless, I got this thing pretty cleaned up. I will get it a little bit cleaner. I'm not super concerned about it yet because all of this is coming apart. And this is the very first time I've ever done anything like this. I'm just bringing you guys along for the ride because the seal kit was like 140 bucks, or to get a completely brand new hydraulic motor was like $700. So I figured I'd give it a go. And if I fail, well, it's not the end of the world. I'll just go down and buy a completely new unit and just know that it's not something that I can do. But don't get me wrong, my confidence level's pretty high that we're gonna be successful. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this up and then we get to see what's inside. Kind of excited. So let's go ahead and hook up my little impact. These ones were not as difficult as the two that were holding it to the fan trap. I stand corrected. Come on. Man, come on, let's go. Let's go ahead and try a shorter one. Hopefully it's not gonna dance around as much. And that's the wrong size. That's all she needed. So I'm pretty sure I found where the leak was. Check this out, guys. Look how loose this is. Definitely not supposed to be like that. So once I get all this taken apart, we'll go ahead and replace the seals that are inside there. Then it's just time to put it back together. All right, so I am officially to the putting back together stage of things. You guys can see we got this piece nice and clean. We do have the new seal in there. I would highly recommend using a seal driver to install these. That way you don't booger them up. I do have the OTC kit with like a zillion different sizes over there. I brought these two over. This one fits pretty much dead on, so we're gonna go ahead and install it onto the driver. So if you guys have never used one of these, I would highly recommend doing it. You can use like sockets and different things like that, but you see how this just has like a completely flat face. It's gonna really minimize the chance you have of boogering that up, because if you do mess it up, pretty much the whole kit's trash, and I highly doubt they sell just this. So we're gonna try and be very careful. We're gonna go ahead and push this down into place and hopefully don't mess it up too bad. Alrighty, let's go ahead and tap her on home. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go one size bigger. So I'm kind of thinking that this is like a universal kit because I cannot find anywhere where those gaskets would be, where those gaskets would be. The only ones I can find are like those ones and those ones right there. So there's two of these on here, and then the rest of this stuff, I'm not sure where it goes. So I'm gonna keep piecing this together, but I went ahead and replaced this gasket. That one's in there. All right, well, I lied. I just blew a ton of air in here to clean it out, and this piece right here comes out as well. Ta-da! So we have that piece, and then we have another red piece like this. So we'll go ahead and remove that one. So we'll go ahead and blow it out one more time, get it nice and clean. Oh, and I just blew that gasket into oblivion. Blow this off one more time. Okay. I keep thinking I'm at like the putting back together point, and then other stuff happens. So we'll go ahead and get that one seated back in there. Bring this back over here. All right, well, I think I got everything put back together correctly. I'm gonna go ahead and open this up a little bit so you guys can kind of see what it looks like. It's gonna be a little bit hard to pick up on camera, but these little guys right here, they are directional. It does matter which side they are facing. So you guys see that little rib that runs in the center of that? You can kind of see it. The other side has a valley. Now this needs to be facing outward because this other red plastic piece fits perfectly on top of that. So it's like a little two-piece seal. That gets put like that, and then that rests on top of it, just like that. So we're gonna go ahead and do a little test with this guy. We're gonna flip it upside down, make sure it doesn't fall out. Okay, we're looking pretty good. Because it goes face side down, we're gonna push that down all the way, get it seated in there nice and tight. And then this guy, you see how it has those markings on the top, and it does not have them on this side? The only reason that I know these go on top is because I took a picture of it. So if there's anything that I would suggest, anytime you guys are working on anything hydraulic or anything even new for that matter, just take 1,000 pictures, because you can never have too many pictures to help you put it back together right. So this guy gets dropped in there just like that, goes on this side, and then we have this piece over here. This one has another one of those two-piece seals on it, and this one faces upwards. So we're gonna go ahead and bring this over. We're gonna set it down. Come on, there we go. That one drops in. Okay, seated in there nice and flat, it's looking good. And then we just have one O-ring. Well, it's not really an O-ring, I don't know what you would call that, but just a rubber seal that fits into that machine groove. We'll go ahead and push that down nice and tight. And then this piece goes on top like so. And that pretty much concludes the internals of this hydraulic pump. We do have this piece to put on there still. We'll drive that down once this is all put together. I'm gonna go ahead and call my buddy Jason because I don't know the torque specs for those, and he's got like all the CAD information in the world, and he's just like a phenomenal mechanic. So if he doesn't have it, he can get it for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and give him a quick call because I wanna get this put back together as nice as I possibly can, because I do not wanna take it back out. So as soon as I get a hold of him, we'll get this put back together, and then we'll drive this piece on there. Because that does have like kind of like a compression type deal. So we'll leave that off for now and get all these bolts put in. All right, so I was gonna go on a quick little side adventure because we have the boost tube right here, this red guy back here. You guys can see that it's kind of in rough shape. It's getting a little bit flimsy. I'm not sure if you're gonna be able to see it, but it's getting kind of rubbed thin right there. And I just got off the phone with Caterpillar, and I was thinking that it was gonna be like $200, maybe $300 hose. $510. So I don't think that's going to be one of those preventative maintenance deals. I'll just run it till it breaks. But for now, we're going to go ahead and get this thing torqued down. We got it in the monster vise right here. Got the torque wrench already set up, and we're just going to go ahead and let's see if I can do this one-handed. Oh, probably not. All right. Click. Click. Come on, come on, come on. I'm gonna go ahead and put the camera down, speed things up. There we go. Okay. Click number 4 or 3. Okay. So he said work my way up to 40, so that was the initial click. Now we're gonna go ahead and give it the final torque. All right. Okay. Make our way to the last one. So he did not pull that number from the book. That's just what he recommended. But I'm gonna go ahead and take his word for it because he is a much better mechanic than I am. And if he says 40 pounds, I'm gonna do 40 pounds. So the seal driver kit that I was using earlier will not work in this exact same scenario because we have the output shaft right here. So we're gonna go ahead and use a deep socket. Fits over nicely. We'll go ahead and get our hammer and we'll just start tapping away ever so gently. All right, we just got back from cleaning everything up. It's probably been a minute or two since it's been that clean, but so overall this has not been a very complicated rebuild process. Probably my biggest complaint is the sequencing on how you have to take it all apart and put it back together. I do not like that you have to take these fittings off in order to put these bolts on. That's probably really my only complaint with this. I'm just not a big fan of that, but we're gonna go ahead and get these fastened back in so we can go ahead and start buttoning everything up. Here's the other one. So we'll go ahead and get those tightened down. Now I know there's gonna be like an exact torque spec for those, but I just cranked those things down because if you guys remember when we took them out, this thing was giving it all it had and it was still struggling. So we just cranked those things down. I'm gonna call it good. And the last part is, let's see, we gotta go ahead and put this back on. This is pretty much what holds everything together. I was trying my hardest not to lose anything, but I somehow managed to lose the washer that goes with this bolt. I don't know how it disappeared. I thought I had set every single nut and bolt on this rag right here, but somehow I still managed to lose one. You know, I'll probably just rob one of these for the time being so we can go ahead and get this on. And then I'll head over to the nut and bolt bin so that way we can 100% finish installing this. But let's see. Yeah, it's looking like the same size. So we'll get that cranked down. And then last but not least, we got to go ahead and install the fan again. Let's see, it was facing this way. We'll go ahead and get this thing lined up. We'll get 3 of the bolts installed because I'm missing the last washer. And then as soon as I find that washer or go get another one, we can go ahead and put those last couple fittings in. Then we can make our way back to the tractor and get this thing reinstalled. So we're gonna go ahead and thumb through our assorted washer bin. This one kind of looks like it's gonna work. I guess it would help to have a clean shop and just not have junk everywhere. Actually, now that we're here. My acting skills are awful. That was totally staged, but that's actually where I found it. So I am pretty excited because we're able to do this 100% now. And I do not have to like hokey poke and find different washers. So we're gonna go ahead and get this last guy on there. Crank it down. Bingo. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and give this thing a quick little spin. Pretty much what we're listening for and looking for is anything that might be rubbing, any rough noises. Sounds pretty good. I don't hear any rubbing. I don't feel any grinding, nothing like that. It's got a little bit of a resistance, which means everything's still nice and tight in there. So that's pretty much what we're looking for. So this is pretty much done. All we have left to do on this side is put these fittings back on, install this solenoid again, then we can take it over to the tractor. All right, so for everybody who watched the live video last night, you guys know what I'm talking about. I was having a hard time figuring out what to do with this. I actually lost a little bit of sleep over it. I decided to wake up earlier today by about 20 minutes and I went ahead and took this off. I gotta get going into town though. I got a bunch of stuff I gotta knock out for work today. And then on my way, I'm gonna try and figure out a cheaper remedy to this. So in the middle of all my running around today, I'm gonna stop by my favorite hose supply shop and see if they have anything that I can couple this with. I'm probably gonna end up cutting this in half, getting 2 more of these fancy clamps and just trying to hold it together because that is so thin right there. She's about to blow. So anyhow, I gotta get running into town though, but I'm gonna bring this with me because not the easiest thing in the world to get that hydraulic pan out. So I don't really feel like doing this again. If I have to order a new one, I will, but I'd rather spend less than $100 repairing this. So we'll see how it goes and I'll be back at it either later today or tomorrow. All right, well the rain is really starting to come down. I actually just got a tornado warning on my phone, but leaving my buddies down here at Industrial Rubber Supply, they had exactly what I needed. So it's gonna end up being $35 to repair this guy instead of $550. So thought I stopped by because I really did not want to spend that kind of money. But seeing as the weather is getting like absolutely insane, I should probably start making my way home so I can get that tractor put back together. Just on the off chance that things start to get super wild. All right, we just got back to the shop. You guys can see that we got the hose right here. We got this nifty little coupler. may restrict airflow just a tiny bit, but I don't think it's gonna be enough to worry about. So what we're gonna do, you guys can see how we got this like rough edge right here. I'm basically gonna go ahead and cut out this entire worn down section, and then we'll probably come up to about this part right here, up to that last rib, and then we'll go ahead and clamp it down. So not like this is the most complex repair in the world, but I do want to put it back together straight. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw a line on here with the Sharpie, so that way when we cut it and stick this coupler in there, we're able just to line the two lines back up, clamp it back down, then in theory, it should fit back in there perfectly. So I can't really do that with my left hand, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the camera down, and then we'll cut it and put this thing back together. All right, so I went ahead and removed this center piece and actually cut it down the center right where it was worn out, just so I could show you guys how thin this actually was. Check this out. I'm not sure how well that's gonna show up on camera, but pretty darn thin. It's less than half the original thickness. So you guys can see that we have it cut into two pieces now. Got my one black mark right there. We're gonna go ahead and shove this guy in to about right there. We'll shove this one in to about right there. Go ahead and line those up a smidge. Whoops. Do-do-do. Go ahead and throw those two clamps on. Throw this back on there. Okay. All right, well, I'm glad I woke up a little bit early this morning and decided to take this thing off because it is fixed. Pretty straightforward. Probably only took me like 5 minutes to do, and we are using the good stuff. These are Dixon clamps. We're using the real deal here. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this back on there. Then we can go ahead and put the fan back on. We can fill back up with hydraulic fluid. And I'm hoping this repair is done. So let me get this on, and then we'll take the fan over there and we'll get it all mounted up. All right, I'm hoping to wrap this up in probably about an hour or so because I got some other things that I gotta do. Getting this guy off was a little bit tricky this morning. Took a little bit longer than initially planned, but I don't think putting it back on will be that hard. All right, so far the boost tube's looking pretty good. I like how I have the clamps right there. They're not really touching on anything. They're not rubbing against anything. And then down here, we're looking pretty good. So I think it's safe to say that I don't have to worry too much about that boost hose exploding anymore. So now that that's installed, it's just time to put the fan back in, hook it back up, and we're gonna go ahead and wrap this project up. All right, well, we are getting to the home stretch. Got the fan right here. Just gotta put these last 4 bolts in. Gotta hook up the hoses. Add a little bit of hydraulic fluid because, as you guys can tell, we may have lost a little bit. And we're gonna fire it up, and let's cross our fingers that it works. This is the hard part.
Hard for Mr. to get muddy. Sheesh.
I know. Try not to break anything.
How's that fan even go? It's touching things.
I know. It is heavy. It's like super awkward. You got that other bolt?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh.
This last one's gonna be a doozy. All right, well, everything is pretty much back together with the exception of this one hose. As soon as this guy's back together, we are done. Except I forgot to get zip ties today, which is such a bonehead move on my part. But I think I am headed back into town tonight so I can pick up some zip ties then. There's basically a couple hoses that need to be, watch it come out quick. So basically there's a couple hoses that get zip tied to this fan shroud so they're just not flopping around. I know some of you guys are probably gonna say that I should have pre-filled that hydraulic motor with fluid. You're probably right, but I didn't. So hopefully this thing doesn't explode right now. After I get this tightened up, we're gonna add some fluid. Then we're gonna start it, see how it works. You can show it off. All right, well here comes the moment of truth. I just added about a gallon of hydraulic fluid. We're gonna go ahead and start it up. We're gonna see what that fan does. Uh-oh. Wonder what that means. All right. Engine cooling fan bypass solenoid. Oh, that's because I forgot to plug that one sensor in. Ooh, that could have been bad. I don't know that would have been bad, but would have not been good. All right, where'd you go? Okay, this guy right here. Okay. Doing this by braille. Boy, it's dark back there. Okay, there you are. All right, it's in there. All right, let's see if it went away. All right, alarm is gone. I just realized I'm in a shop with closed doors, and I should probably open this up. We're gonna go ahead and warm things up a little bit because the fan is not moving. So let's go ahead and bring the RPMs up a smidge. Well, I was getting excited because it was up to 187 and now it's going back down to 180. So I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe the fan is spinning. Nope, it's not. If I had to guess, the thermostat just opened up and let all that cold water that was in the radiator make its way back into the engine, because it went down to about 168 and now we're back up to 178. So it is starting to warm up again. But we're back up to 180. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. All right, well, I do not recommend trying this at home, but I just could not get it up to temperature. No way, no how. So I may have just severely restricted the cooling capabilities of the tractor to try and get that temperature up, because it just was not happening. And right now we're 189, we're getting close. I think the fan kicks on at 210. So that's what we're trying to get to. We're trying to get to 210 degrees. Oh, and my cap just fell off. Let's see. We're at 192, we're still getting close. So I think I might suffocate it again. All right, we are slowly creeping our way there. 196, 198. Come on, let's go. Come on. Ooh, we're at 201. Getting real close. 210. Trying to get to that magic number of 210. Oh, nope, you stayed put. It's taking a lot longer than I wanted it to. Right now I wish I had that cool cat testing software where I could just turn the fan on. Oh, there it goes. All right guys, so I think we are in business. The fan's been running for about the better part of a minute. I don't see any leaks anywhere yet. So I would say that this machine is good to go. Pretty good heat transfer going on right here. I do need to clean that radiator out, but let's go ahead and check the temperature, see if they have come down from 210, see where we're at. Yeah, we're down to 185 already, so the fan is working great. All right guys, well, I'm super excited. We just pulled the 299 back into the shop. I think it's safe to say that it's fixed. I let it run through 2 separate cycles. I got it up to temperature twice, and both times the fan turned on and turned off. I don't see any leaks anywhere. We're gonna go ahead and take a look real quick while it's shut down to see if we can notice any leaks. And I'm not noticing any right off the bat. So tomorrow I'll go ahead and pressure wash this thing super, super good. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say that this repair is probably a 6. It was not really that hard. You just have to pay close attention as to how it comes apart and how you put it back together. And I probably did something wrong, but it works. It doesn't leak anymore, and I'm happy. So if you guys have a cat skid steer and a free weekend, I would recommend getting the rebuild kit as opposed to the $700 motor. The rebuild kit I think was $140 if I'm not mistaken, which is still pretty crazy for that little bag of parts, but it's a lot cheaper than 700 bucks. So $299 is back in action, and I'm going to be putting it through the ringer tomorrow. I've got a bunch of work that I need to do with it. So I didn't see any leaks tonight, but after tomorrow, I will know for sure if it has any leaks. I don't think it does. I think we're good, but I'm gonna go ahead and put the screws in this video because I gotta take these kids into town tonight, and you guys, it's just a good day. But if you could do me a huge solid, like, subscribe, share this video with your amigos, hit that notification button down below so you guys can see progress on this, the grader, or whatever else we got going on, and
We'll see you guys next time.
later.